I think about the problems that managers get into because they run into something that's unfamiliar and they try to treat it with familiar approaches. And the one that I see frequently is not understanding when a problem is really a one-time and unusual problem versus something that looks like normal ongoing activity. Having people think about a project as a project is quite useful. Many of us have the same experience when we renovate a house. You always think, well, maybe I can be my own general contractor. And I'll deal with the electrician, and I'll deal with the plumber, and I'll deal with the plasterer or the mason. And you overrun 20% on time and 40% on cost. Because one of the things that a contractor does, he organizes the effort as a project, which most of us don't know how to do. We do it thinking we know how to do it the way we do everything else. I can remember one auto manufacturing vice president in the States saying, I will not have a project manager in my business. I have an engineer, I have a manufacturing person, I have a marketing person, and I have a finance person. I'm not going to confuse the organization with a project manager. One auto designed to be 20% less expensive than its predecessor ended up being 10% more expensive and late. The project cost, instead of being $2 billion, was $3 billion because of his belief that he could run the business in a normal way in what was really a project. It's not always clear when one needs a project. You always get the question, well, should I have a project manager when I pick up a pencil or sharpen a pencil? Well, no, not quite. It's when the number of activities that have to be done are greater than one can carry in one's head all the time. But once you get above 100 different activities in different locations with interdependencies that are not clear, it really is worth the effort. A project team generally ought to cost 1% of the project. So somewhere in that neighborhood, 1 to 2% of the project, to have a special group work on the problem. Now, if you have a $100 million project, and you normally overrun 20% or 30%, that's $20 or $30 million. So the choice is spend an extra $1 million to have a project team and save the $20 or $30 million overrun, which you know is going to happen. So it seems to me that for any middle management person, seeing his organization doing something that is bigger or more complicated or new, ought to think about the power of a separate project organization.